Oh, okay, you can see me a little bit, I suppose. Cool. So, as I put in the stream title, I am going to just quickly demo a hidden message app that I was building just for fun. And so what it does is it will hide a set of text within an image, and then you can send that image presumably to someone. They could open up the app, drop it into the app, and get your message. So it's hidden if you're not knowing what to look for, but I think it's pretty neat. So I'm just going to kind of go over. I call it Tater for some reason. Tater just because I spend too much time thinking about names, and why not just call it Potato? Who cares, right? So anyways, here's Tater. So you just go in here and we'll just grab, I think I've got this signature out here. And of course, I just ran this through as a test, so things could obviously fail, but the message you want to send in it is, hello, welcome to my stream. This is my Tater. Okay, so say you wanted to send that, and you click go, and then all right, it's going to save it to save it out, and then it kind of you go back to the screen. So what you get over here then is your image, which let me just open it up. It doesn't look like anything changed there. If you go into, let's open it with paint.net. Open. So there was already a lot of alpha channel stuff going on in this image, but within the first set of pixels here, it's pretty much impossible to see, but there's actually a message going on in here, which again would be very difficult to see, but you can see these aren't exactly transparent pixels when you hover over them. There's slight little differences. So what should happen then is when I drop this back in, I should get my hidden message. Welcome to my stream. This is my Tater app. Hello world. So that then is pulled out of the image, which I think is pretty cool. The trick here is that what this does, and what it is kind of just like a common deal. This is like a steganography, if that's how you say it, whatever. And this is extremely messy code, by the way. I'm going brute force. I don't care about quality here. I just wanted to try to get it to work. So what it does is it sets the last 2 bits of every pixel to be part of a byte. So every byte in your message, so every character, for instance, the character A, consists of 1 byte of data. That 1 byte then is translated into the last 2 bits of the ARGB channels on a pixel. So it's stored there. So you get slight variations in color, but you don't actually, it's not super recognizable to the human eye. And so you can create an image like this and have it just, appear to be a thing, and you don't actually, unless you know what you're looking for, it's going to be kind of hidden. So let's just go with another one here. And there's one other kind of interesting thing that I learned when I was kind of studying this for something else. So let's find one with, okay, let's take this ground one here. So I want to save some message in here. It might be more noticeable in this because there's actually color. It's not all just clear. So, let's just get some lorem ipsum off the internet quick. We'll generate some lorem ipsum. And this image should have a pretty good amount of storage on it. So yeah, all right. And I say go, and we'll call it. Apparently there's a bug within this. If your file name is named the same as a folder, it like tries to open the folder for some reason when you go save. I'm not sure why that is, but it's a bug. So I can't call it tater there, but so there we see it was saved. We can verify, yes indeed, the lorem ipsum comes out when it's pulled out, which is pretty freaking cool again. But let's actually take a look at the image. And I'll bring this up in paint.net because it's really easy to see stuff in there. All right, so you can see that the message goes to about this spot, right? I don't know if you can, how well you can see it on your you know, on YouTube or whatever, but from about here to here, about the last byte is about right there. This is where your message is stored. You can see that there's slight variations in color and that kind of a thing. One thing I do, as you can see right here, and I did give away that there's a secret message, is I set one pixel to be exactly transparent, fully transparent. And the reason for that is that if you wanted to take this and let's just really quick, and this would be a good test of it, throw this on Twitter. We'll call it hidden message. So you put this on Twitter. If you don't have a transparent pixel, it will try to like compress it further. It'll copy it into like another image, but there's no actual like image format that Twitter can handle that has some transparency other than PNG, so you don't get any compression on it. So we'll save this out from Twitter. We'll just call it whatever it has. So there it is. Now I should be able to get my same message back, assuming that I understand the state of the world correctly, which it could be totally wrong, but let's go ahead and try. There we go. So we get our lorem ipsum back. So you could presumably, you know, send out these messages and have these hidden things going on in them. Presumably too, what I could do is add some features where you know, maybe you could get some additional space by just you know, losing some clarity on it. So like when you look at this one compared to the original, you can't really tell that there's really much difference unless you're really digging into it. But you know, maybe I'd use the first 3 bits and then I could get potentially an extra byte out of every 2 bytes, or no, every 4 bytes I would get an extra byte. Yeah, which would be a lot more complicated to implement. But the other thing I thought about doing is putting like a little watermark of a potato in it, just to kind of like indicate, hey, this has got a secret message. Unless you want to buy the premium version where you get them without it. Yeah, right. I don't expect this to sell. I might throw some ads on it, but I'm going to throw it on Windows Store once I actually clean it up and make it not so ugly. But just kind of an exciting, kind of fun little project I decided to just work on. Oh, another thing I could do is, you know, every image, like this image, basically you get as many bytes as it is wide times, because every pixel can store a byte. So you can store within an image, a fairly large image, a fairly large set of data. So having a little message down here, I mean, you're not getting a lot of, you know, bytes doing that, but maybe if you wanted to store like a small file or something, it really wouldn't be that hard to just throw, compress a file and throw it into the image, then send it out, and then receive it on the other side and get it back. One thing I hadn't thought of, well, it probably is not too handy, but like if you really had trouble passing files to someone because of some sort of like an email restriction or whatever, it might be a fast way to do that. But anyways, that is again my, let's see how much I use by just grabbing a bunch of this 5-paragraph word. So that's in like a more normal picture. So you can see, you might be able to see on YouTube anyways, that there's a lot of, it just looks like static going on in here. Like the clarity is kind of feels wrong, down here. And then there's this extraneous pixel down here that's completely hidden. But, for the most part, if you're looking at this, you can't exactly tell that there's a message being relayed in it. So using kind of a bigger deal here, but there certainly is. So I gotta put some scroll bars in there. So yeah, so that's my fun little app that I'm working on, and it'll probably be in the Windows Store here soon. All right, cool. Well, I think I'm gonna head off of Livestream now. Thanks for listening.